welcome back to the Hermitcraft FTB server. Well, today I gotta say that, well, first of all I have been a little on the busy side. You'll notice that I've got a whole lot of zombie pigmen skulls up there on the wall because I have, well, I've been busy taking advantage of this gravity chest plate and this very actually awesome sword. Vorpal 3, Smite 5, Repair 2, and Looting 2. And Looting 2, by the way, I'm going to see if I can't get another Looting 2 and upgrade that to Looting 3 at some point. But that has allowed me to gather quite a bit of skulls, even finally got a Wither Skeleton skull, which I'm going to be needing later on. And so on. And I haven't made any progress with the bees and whatnot yet. I was going to do some automation to process all of the stuff coming in from the bees, and had a little bit of a difficulty because the system I've got together right now just can't handle what it's got right now, let alone adding anything more to it. And I did want the system over there to be connected to the system here. And so I'm going to have to be doing some changes there. So for the time being, I've gone to the autarkic gates on all of the beehives, all the apiaries, and shut them down. I have stopped production and frozen what's going on there. I'll be picking things up soon. Matter Fabricator is busy producing plenty of UU matter to replace the fact that I used just about almost all of it in making that gravity chest plate, and so on. The big problem I have here is this sorting system. It's limited by the fact that I'm using sorting machines. You see, this one has got a red light on it. It's jammed. It means there's something in it that it's trying to put somewhere, but there is no valid inventory space available for it to put it. And I'll have to break that pipe in order to find out. Well, let's see. Is there anything in there? Alright, fine, go ahead and do that. Alright, that means that this sorting machine was trying to put rubberwood logs away, but it couldn't find a valid inventory to put them in, which is a little bit peculiar because there's one right here. And it is connected to the pipe system. And, well, let's go ahead and put the pipe back, and I'll put the thing in here, see where it comes out. This one grabbed it, and you can't say, oh, I get it. That's why. Alright, so that's one problem. This pipe was painted, and now there is a path available to get to the light green line. It was painted dark green, and it couldn't send anything there. Alright, so that much is taken care of. But still, two sorting machines here. I'm set up here to sort 5 lines of stuff on the light green line. And I set this machine up to sort things on the light green line and some things on the dark green over for recycling. But it's still a matter of a problem. What this thing cannot sort will jam it, and what this thing cannot sort will jam it, and so on. It gets to be a real problem. And the fact is that using sorting machines, I just don't have enough slots in them. I could probably chain them in some way to get it to work, but it would be, I don't know, not a very elegant solution. But I have come up with an answer, and that I've got a little bit of a prototype for up here. So I probably mentioned this before, but I worked out a system that by using managers, I can handle stuff going into and out of barrels. Let me get a little bit of blue alloy wire here so I can power this thing up. See, these have a little bit of power, enough for a demonstration. Let's go ahead and Run some power over here. And get this thing running. Now right here, that should keep specifically one stack of netherrack and one stack of cobble in this chest. You see here it's said, okay, the chest is empty, I need cobble and netherrack. Now I don't have a cobble supply on here, but there is a netherrack supply. And it comes down here, it puts a stack of netherrack in there, and the rest of it gets sent back. And because of the way barrels work, they input only from the top, so there has to be a manager there to put stuff in the barrel, and they output from the bottom, which means there's a manager down here to take stuff out. And these managers are set to keep at least 32 netherrack in the barrel at all times. It can keep more. Oh, wait a minute. Alright, let's look at this. Alright, this says keep these specific amounts in here. And this symbol here means to keep any amount, so I could just leave one netherrack there and one netherrack here, and it would keep however much netherrack I put in here. So I go ahead and put those in here. They're more than what this is set to, so it ejects them out. They go over here and into the top manager to be input back into the chest or the barrel. And I'm going to work out the power for it. I'll have power come in one side and then go up to that and down to that. And I'll just have a line of barrels with managers below and managers above, and pneumatic tubes above and below that to manage everything. And basically I'll just set this up so that the barrels down below here, the managers attached will be set up to keep any amount of whatever item in that particular barrel. And I will have this line of chests still in place after a restriction tube, which is currently there. There'll be a restriction tube, and this will be for overflow. Any items that the system doesn't know how to handle will end up in here, and that will allow me to expand the system to cover it. Now, for the doing of all this, I'm going to have to move all of these barrels, probably a couple of times. But fortunately, I've learned that you can take a gravity gun or the gravity function of a portal gun, and you can pick up a barrel. Let's see, right click, pick it up, pull it out, set it down, right click again, and it doesn't lose the content. Alright, and that goes just for, that also goes for extra dimensional barrels, I do believe. So let's move the redstone barrel. As a matter of fact, instead of that one, let's move one with more than 64 stacks. Here's the nickelite barrel. Set it down, and it still has all of its nickelite in there. So what I'm going to have to do is move all these barrels and then tear all this pneumatic tube down and get my managers in place, and then, well, reroute all the pneumatic tube, then get the managers in place and start hooking things up. Now, the managers have been a job, and that's part of why it's taken so long to get this episode out, because I had to do a lot of prep work for this. I'm going to make 3 stacks of managers, so that means 3 stacks of pistons. Extra resources are in these chests above, so that I could have everything I need for all of these. Oops, I need another 2 stacks of wooden planks. Okay. You see, I thought I had all that figured out ahead of time. Actually, I only need one of those stacks of logs. So I'm just going to dump it in here. And you see the excess planks are getting routed down here to the overflow chests because I don't have a set place for them to go just yet. Something else I need to work on. Alright, now. Okay, I did need those extra planks. Where did they go? Here they are. Good night. Apparently I did need 2 stacks of logs. Well, I hope that I've done better math on all the rest of this than I did on this one. Otherwise, I will be doing a lot of running back and forth. Alright, there's my 3 stacks of pistons. I take the pistons and they go up here. I'm going to have to temporarily take some of this out. First, I need 3 stacks of filters, which is what the pistons are needed for. And I need some cobble, which is up here. And I'll just keep bringing the cobble down. That's a stack and a half. And I'm going to need to go get more gold. You see, this is why I need this management system, because what I'm going to end up having here is a set of chests through here. Or perhaps along here somewhere or something. Right, easily accessible from the work area. A set of chests along there that will contain basic materials of all descriptions that are used commonly in crafting. And that way when I use something, the managers will notice something being removed from the chest, and it will automatically replace it. Okay, I'm trying not to overmake these, but I shouldn't have to worry about it because I just need 1 for each piston. More gold. You see what I mean? See, instead of having to run all the way up here and get it, I would be making it over here and just reach to whatever metals chest and grab another stack or 2 of gold, and bingo, everything would be cool. Okay, 3 stacks of filters. So the filters are done. Go ahead and put them up here because they're an ingredient in the next step. As is this iron. Oh, I need my wafers. Didn't I make up red dope wafers for this? Oh boy. You see, now this is how much fun this has been. I miscounted this. I didn't count these red doped wafers. So what I'm going to have to do, in order to make 3 stacks of sorting machines, I now need to cook up 6 stacks of red doped wafers. So I'm going to get busy with that, and I'll be back when I've got that taken care of. And I'm going to double check the other things while I'm at it. Alright, and here's where I'm running into a problem I kind of expected. I've got 3 stacks of wafers already. I need 3 more. I've got the wafers up here. But this is pretty much just about the last of my redstone. So I need more redstone. And I'm not going to go mining just yet. What I'm going to do is come down here, grab a couple of stacks of UU matter, use a handy project table, and I'm going to make up a bunch of redstone. And this will let me finish this project. It's kind of an expensive way to get redstone, but at least it's quick and easy. So now two more stacks for that wafer. And I'll go over here and I'll fire this furnace up, and it will be working on some as well. And I'll be back when I have the wafers. Alright, I've got all of my red doped wafers now, and while I was waiting for them to cook, I went ahead and moved all these barrels off the wall over there and these chests, and took down all of the pneumatic tube that was up there. So now, let's go ahead and throw these in here. Oh yes, the iron. There we go. And that's 3 stacks of sorting machines. Now over here, we need 6 stacks of buffers. And a bunch of other stuff. A lot of the materials for which are stored up here, because they won't all fit in the project table at once. More of these things. Okay, that's how many we got here. That's 4 stacks. Chewing through this stuff. You can imagine how much iron is involved in this. That's 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh boy, this is chewing through it. Alright, there's 6 stacks of buffers. And next up is 3 stacks of item detectors. And a bunch more of the red doped wafers. And a lot of brass. And a lot of pneumatic tube, which I left most of it up top side. I need to bring it down. All right. Okay, I'm almost there. And that's 3 stacks of item detectors. And then here, regulators, more brass, more red doped wafers, and more wood. Alright. Okay, yes. Buffers. And the item detectors, of course. Item detectors, buffers, don't need the barrels in there. More brass. More wood. That's 3 stacks of regulators, 3 stacks of sorting machines. Okay, now over here is where it all comes together. To produce the managers. And of course, all of this just to make the managers. There's 2 stacks. There we go. 3 stacks of managers. And that was crazy, I'll tell you. So 3 stacks of managers. I have 1 leftover sorting machine. I'm just going to drop it in there. And some barrels here that were empty in the line. Some chests that were empty. And now I need to go get some more pneumatic tube and start laying down piping and wiring and whatnot to figure out just exactly where these things are going to do. I'm probably going to take this wall in a notch so that I can put the plumbing back here. So I think I will do that and I'll be back. Alright, I've got the wall all prepped and I've made up a whole bunch of pneumatic tube. And I'm going to start that off just right along here. A whole line of pneumatic tube down this way. I'm not exactly sure just exactly how far down this wall I'm going to have to take this, but I'm figuring it's probably a good idea to be prepared to just use the whole friggin' wall. And that's the way that's going to go. My pneumatic tube all the way down here and along here. Of course, it would be helpful. Well, for one thing, if NEI wouldn't decide to replace pneumatic tube with blue alloy wire, that doesn't make any sense. It would also be helpful if I didn't go so fast that I make a bunch of stupid misaims and so on. Alright. So, the plumbing is in place along the wall here. And I'm going to start putting down some managers. Oh, that's not going to work. Okay, I know what I'm going to have to do. I'm just going to have to be up to place the ones down here. And I'll get all these managers in place and I'll be back. Okay, I've got the back wall all lined with managers. I was mistaken about one thing. I had the pipe up here, and I was mistakenly thinking with the idea of a barrel here and a barrel here, and a manager there and a pipe there. And that would work if you could input and output from a barrel from one side, but you can't. So you got to have pipe, manager to access the bottom for extracting things, then the barrel, then the other manager to access the top for putting things in, and then of course the tubing on top. So I've got all that in place. I need to get out my gravity gun and start putting barrels in place. I've got like a little over 50 some barrels to move, so I'm going to do that off camera and we'll see where we are from there. I do kind of sort of have the sinking feeling that I'm either going to be taking this setup and wrapping it around the room like this, and possibly, maybe, end up having to make more barrels. I mean, managers. Wouldn't that be a mess? Alright, I'm going to get busy on this. I've got a lot of barrels to move. Alright, I have a whole lot of barrels in here and quite a bit of managers. I've got a stack plus 2 of managers left, so that means there's just 2 shy of being 2 stacks of managers out here, which means 63 barrels in place with managers for each one. Now I've got all of these in and all the way down here, and along here I've got a bunch of empty ones, and by the way, I've made sure that all of these barrels have extra dimensional capacity. And the reason for the empties over here is these chests. These chests have got all sorts of random junk in them. They were in that line of overflow chests there. Now, like when I'm out exploring villages or ages or some stuff from the mines, from the quarries and whatnot, I come in. Or if I was like, I'm out at spawn doing enchanted books and whatnot, and I'd drop them into my sorting bag because I didn't have room to carry them all, and so on. And so they all go through the sorting machine and ended up in this line of overflow chests. And all of these are practically full. And there's a lot of stuff in them that could be sorted into these empty barrels. And I'm thinking also that if need be, I can come over here and say 4 blocks out from the wall. I could come up here and say leave a 2 block space or maybe a 3 block space to walk through here, and then just set in more managers and more barrels. And I could also do the same thing, say right about here. And have 2 more aisles of barrels in here holding all kinds of stuff. So I'm probably going to do that. And the next step is, well, for one thing, I need to go through these chests and take things out of them and start sorting them manually into these barrels, just so that each barrel has an item assigned to it. I also need to go to each of these managers, particularly the ones on top. Like for example here, we've got, what is this? Cinnabar. Okay, so we have to go to this manager here and tell it, keep Cinnabar. And if I recall correctly, any amount, priority 1. Alright, let me look that up real quick. Yeah, that's right. Okay, this mode is to keep any amount of that material in this container. Now, the bottom manager is the one that's going to be pulling out, so we don't need to set its mode or its priority, I don't believe. So I need to go down all these barrels and set these things like so. An item, that mode, priority 1. And so that's going to take me a while and all by itself. And then, of course, going through these chests to get these barrels set up. And then over here, I take some of this down. These sorting machines are going to come out. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and take them out now. And now I've got an inventory full of crap I can't do anything with, so I'm just going to drop it conveniently enough right in here. I need to break this sorting machine so that it doesn't try to pull it all out. And that's not going to do it. Alright, I'm just going to throw some of it in here for now, temporarily, just to clear myself some room. Go over here. So one of these things was a diamond chest. I'm just going to... One of the things I needed to set up is an overflow chest, and I think what I'm going to do is just... I'm going to come over here, run some pipe over here, and then use a restriction tube to say this is the farthest inventory away, and if something can't be put anywhere else, put it here in these 2 diamond chests. And so that's what I'm going to do for now. That way, anytime there's anything in a diamond chest, I can come back here and sort it out manually to set up a barrel for it, or figure out whatever it is I'm going to do with it. And so I've got a lot to do here to get these barrels all set up and get all of these managers programmed and set up. And then I have to go behind the wall here. As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and dig back there now. I have to come along here behind all these barrels and managers, and I have to put in the power cable they're going to need, because you need electricity to make these things work. And so I have to come along here and put power cable along all the managers. And let's see, right here I'm just going to go like that so that both lines have power, and then this line will come along and probably connect up to that one, which goes up to the solar panels and battery boxes up topside, and to this battery box, which will provide power for everything. So I'll have to get all of that wired up, get all these managers set up, get these barrels set up and those managers set up, and then next time we'll see about setting things up topside in the upstairs, and get those barrels set up and get my working chests set up and managers on them, and we'll go from there, and we'll start getting into that in the next episode. Thanks for watching. Take it easy. I'm out of here.